Bonjour class. Today we will be studying negation in French. And we'll not be proceeding with the basic negation, but we'll be covering the negative markers. Like when you say, I read something. How do you negate? You do not simply negate, I did not read anything. But you say, I read nothing. That is, you negate from something to nothing. That is what we are going to see today. So the very first negative marker which we see here, which we have here, is your quelque chose. Quelque chose, as you know, in French, it means something. Quelque chose, which means something. So what is the negation for quelque chose in English? It is nothing, nothing or anything. So the statement which we have here is je mange quelque chose. This means what? I eat something. So when you negate, you simply say je ne mange rien. Je ne mange rien. Your verb, as always in your basic negation you do, your verb comes in between the markers. Your verb comes in between the markers, and then we have the marker ne and rien. Then we have the second negation, second marker, which is quelqu'un. Quelqu'un means what? Quelqu'un means someone. So how do we negate quelqu'un? We negate quelqu'un by ne personne, that is no one. Then what do we do? Je vois quelqu'un. Je vois quelqu'un. C'est-à-dire quoi? C'est-à-dire I see someone. I see someone. So how will you negate? You will negate I see no one. So that it will be je ne vois personne. Je ne vois personne. So what is the negation? For quelqu'un, we have ne personne. And the reverse also you can do. When you can also put this ne personne like personne ne. No personne ne vient, c'est-à-dire no, nobody came. Nobody come. It is in present tense. Then the third negative marker which we have here is, your quelque part. It is your quelque part. Quelque part, c'est-à-dire quoi? Quelque part means what? Somewhere. So if you have a sentence, I went somewhere. So how will you negate? You will negate I did not go anywhere. So that is what we have in French as well. We have quelque part, which means somewhere, and when we negate it, we say ne nulle part. Ne nulle part, which means nowhere. So how will you do that? That is, we have je vais quelque part. Je vais quelque part. How do you negate? You negate je ne vais nulle part. Je ne vais nulle part. Your negation is ne nulle part. Your negation is ne nulle part. So we put je ne vais nulle part. Then we have the fourth marker, which is toujours. Toujours means what? Toujours means always. So what will be the negation of always? The negation of always will be never. So if you say, I always do my homework in the evening, or I always go to this restaurant, so how will you negate? You will negate I never go to this restaurant. I never do my homework, whatever your sentence is. So what is the negative marker for toujours? It is ne jamais. Ne jamais. That is, the statement which we have here is je fais toujours mon devoir le soir. I always do my work in the evening. How will you negate? We'll negate je ne fais jamais mon devoir le vendredi. Je ne fais jamais mon devoir le vendredi. I never do my homework on Friday. Jeudi, vendredi, on Friday. Then we have the fifth marker here is encore. Encore, c'est-à-dire quoi? Encore is your still. So when you say, is there still biscuits in the box? When we negate, we say, no, there are no more biscuits in the box. Or you say, no, not yet. Like, are you still waiting? Are you still writing? So no, not yet. That is ne plus. Encore is, sorry, I missed, ne plus. That is, il y a encore des biscuits dans la boîte. There are still biscuits in the box. So what will be the negation? The negation will be il n'y a plus de biscuit. Il n'y a plus de biscuit. That is, we have ne and plus. And you must be knowing, that whenever we have the ilia expression, like we have, whenever we have the ilia expression, how do we negate? We negate by ilia is negated by il niapa. That is, in between the markers we have the pronoun y and the verb a. That is, we put the n and a in between your markers napa. And that is what we did here. We have put the marker, we have put the pronoun and the verb between the marker, that is your na and plu. Clear? Then the sixth negative marker which we have here is deja. Deja means what? Deja means already. That is, say deja Caesar, is it already 6 o'clock, or it's already 6 o'clock? So what you will negate? How will you negate? You will negate it's not yet 6 o'clock. That is, say deja Caesar, say deja Caesar. No, ce n'est pas encore à Caesar. No, ce n'est pas encore à Caesar. No, it's not yet 6 o'clock. Then the seventh and the last negative marker which we have here is la and lay. That is, when you have to negate with neither nor in French, neither nor in English. That is, I neither prefer chocolate nor ice cream. I neither like to read nor to write. That is when you have to negate using neither and nor. How will we do that? When you have sentences, j'aime le chocolat et les bonbons. J'aime le chocolat et les bonbons. I like the chocolate and the candies. I like the chocolate and the candies. So how will you negate? You will negate je n'aime ni le chocolat ni les bonbons. I neither like chocolate nor candies. That is, how do we negate? We put the marker ni and ni. We put the marker ni and ni before what? Before our positives, whichever thing we have to contradict in the statement. Like, I like chocolate and candies. I do not like chocolate nor candies. I neither like chocolate nor candies. So we are negating chocolate and candy. So simply you will put ni before your nouns, which you have to negate, and the marker na before ame, that is before your verb. Then the second statement we have here is with the partitive articles. Like when you have you and they. When you have you and they, that is, I like some candies or some toffees or some chocolates. So you negate it with I don't like any candy or any chocolate. So we have ni and ni, that is same. Ni and ni. Ni and ni before, like you can say wait, let me clear it all. Like you have here is je mange du chocolat et des bonbons. I eat some chocolate and some candy. So what we will do, as usual, we will put our negative marker ni before the chocolate and before candies, and we will remove the partitive article. We have removed this du and de. We have simply added ni chocolat ni bonbon before na, before the nouns, and the marker na before your verb. I hope the markers are clear. Now we can move to the exercises. So we have here is your, leave this one, skip, it's not clear. Like you can see here, la négation, quelque chose, which means what? Quelque chose, which means something. Quelque chose, which means what? Which means something. And when we negate, it becomes nothing. So rien means what? Rien means, it should be clear, no? Rien means what? Rien means nothing. So when you negate something, it becomes nothing. Quelque chose becomes ne verb plus rien. Then you have quelqu'un. Quelqu'un, which means what? Quelqu'un means someone. And when we negate no one. That is, quelqu'un changes into ne plus your verb plus person, no one. Then we have quelquefois, which means sometimes, which becomes never. Jamais is what? Jamais is never. Sometimes, never. Then we have toujours, which means always. It becomes no more. Or also you can negate it with jamais. You can also negate it with jamais, that is never. I always visit the temple, I never visit the temple. So toujours changes into ne verb plus plus or also ne verb plus jamais. Then let's move to the exercises. Okay, you can clear from here. You can clear your concepts from here. Like it says, je cherche quelque chose. I am looking for something, or I find something. So how will you negate it? Je ne cherche rien. Your verb was cherche, which is placed between ne and rien. Je ne cherche rien. I do not look for anything. Je parle avec quelqu'un. I talk to someone. Je ne parle avec personne. Ne, person, and then in between you have your verb and the preposition. Je ne parle avec personne. I talk to someone. I talk to no one. Then je vais quelquefois au Portugal. I go somewhere to Portugal. Je ne vais jamais au Portugal. I never go to Portugal. Sometimes I go to Portugal. I never go to Portugal. Then je vais toujours manger. I always want to eat. Then we will have je ne veux plus manger. I no more want to eat, or also you can negate by I never eat. Je ne veux jamais manger. Jamais will also work here. That is, I never eat. Then we have our exercises which you can solve. Je vois quelqu'un, which will be je ne vois personne. Je ne vois personne. It will be what? It will be je ne vois personne. Then you have j'achète quelque chose. I purchase something. It will be I purchase nothing. It will be je n'achète rien. Then you have je travaille toujours dans ce bureau. I work always in this office. I work always in this office. So you will write I never work in this office. That is, or I no more work in this office. So you can negate it using both the markers. Either you can negate it with ne plus, or also you can negate with ne jamais. That is, je ne travaille jamais dans ce bureau. Then je vais quelquefois au théâtre. I went sometime to the theater. I no more went to the theater. Then tu vas toujours les fraises. You always want the strawberries. You never want the strawberries. Tu ne veux jamais les fraises. Then il pense à quelqu'un. He thinks of someone. He thinks of no one. Il ne pense à personne. Omar cherche quelque chose. Omar finds something. Omar is looking for something. Omar ne cherche rien. Omar is looking for nothing. So these last four questions, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th is your homework. You can post your answers in the comment section and I'll be pinning the answer there. And then again you have one more section for your PDF for your homework. You can take a screenshot of it and you can solve it. I hope the lesson for the negative markers in French was clear. Follow for more.